Soccer 605 here with Greg Stone from Rapid City. Greg is one of the high school committee members and here in Rapid City and going to be largely responsible for a lot of the high school tournaments. So I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Go ahead, Randy.
Okay, so I guess the dates are down, October 11th through the 12th and 13th.
11th, 12th, and 13th of October, yeah.
And, you know,
Rapid City.
It's in Rapid City. You know, I have been a pretty big proponent of that for a long time, and I know you have too. We finally got it done.
Yeah, I know there's years ago me and Carol worked on a proposition to the state, but it didn't get accepted at that time. They kept it in the small communities, so we finally got it here, and we're going to enjoy it.
Well, I think they're going to do a great job at it, and I think also all those East River people are going to like the climate quite a lot better that time of year here too.
Well, I think they're going to like the climate, and I think they're going to like, I mean, we always have good comments when the Eastern teams come out here to play at the Sioux Parks complex where we'll play it. We'll play it on Nortimer, the stadium, and also Sioux Park too. So we'll have a good tournament feeling for the tournament.
So you're gonna probably just be running, you know, the A girls and boys in the morning and AA, and do you run them all at the same time, the same class then, or?
We were having a little discussion on how to do the scheduling. We wanted to have a night scheduling out here, and East River with travel, they want to have a day schedule. So we're probably going to stay with the same time frame, which would be 9, 11, 2:30, 4, or 2, 4:30. And we will probably run, because we're going to have 28 teams in the tournament this year. There'll be 8 AA boys, 8 AA girls, 8 boys, 8 A boys, and then there'll only be 4 girls teams. So we'll have qualifications to get in the week before.
So the qualifications then are, you're not going to be, I guess you're going to go somewhat on PowerPoint rankings, but how do the teams get in?
The PowerPoint rankings, we go through the season and they're all PowerPoint ranked, and 11 will play 6, 10 will play 7, 8 will play 9 for the playing games into the tournament in the AA division since there's 11 teams. A boys will be 10, 7, 8, 9. And in the girls, the A girls will be 4 will play 5 to get in. So there will be a playoff the weekend before our tournament.
You know that I'll tell you what, I've watched a lot of games this year, and I've never seen more parity. I think in any class, just about any team could win this year.
Well, yeah, we're hoping to get our local teams in, and right now Stevens is at the bottom of the 11th team. But if you've watched any of their games, they're certainly not out of any of them, and they're competitive. So there could be some surprises come tournament time.
Well, all it takes is a little bit of luck and 3 good games, right?
That's all it takes.
All right, so we know how they're going to qualify, and you know, I know last year, you know, we're in Mitchell,
yes,
and they had a really good bunch of people from Mitchell got together and served as hosts for the tournament. Are they doing the same thing in Rapid?
We've got probably, I would say, as much tournament experience going into this tournament as far as people working on the tournament. We got Tony Sobrowski, Jackie Bohr, Shay Matkins, and Cassandra Messmer. We've got probably as much tournament experience going into the tournament with people that know how to do it. So yeah, we'll put on a good tournament.
Is is it RCYSL hosting or Rushmore Soccer Club, or?
It's actually, if you looked at the names, it's a combined effort of both organizations. We're trying to bring things together in Rapid City, and this is one effort we're going to do together as a community.
Well, that's fantastic. In the past, for state tournaments, they have assigned motels to teams. Are you doing that this year?
Yeah, Shay Matkins is assigning motels, and it'll be done similar to the way it's done. There'll be blocks of rooms, and as teams qualify and they know their spot, they'll be assigned rooms for their area. It's easier to do that way than have everybody go free for all. We do have enough rooms in Rapid City, but this way we can control and assign them as teams qualify.
Yeah, well, that sounds good. I know, you know, across the state we've kind of had some rules changes for all the teams this year, like the 40-minute half rule. Are there going to be any major rules changes for state tournament?
We'll continue to do the same rules we've used all season, which is kind of a combination of NFHS and USSF soccer rules but we're following the NFHS guidelines, which is what South Dakota Activities Association is using for their games and their tournaments. We're hoping that this leads to a smoother transition the next year whenever all the soccer teams become sanctioned. So there's a few changes, if you noted, a little bit on substitutions, a little bit on handling the game, you know, check-in and stuff, but most of the items will remain the same as they've done in the past.
All right. Let's see.
The average fan won't know the difference between one game versus the other.
Well, it's just, after all, it's just soccer, isn't it, once they get on the field?
Once they get on the field, it's just soccer.
Do you know if they're needing any refs for the tournament and who they should contact if they want to put their name in the hat to ref?
Well, we've got quite a few refs set up here locally, and we're also bringing in some East River, and Tom Hilsendinger from Aberdeen does the assigning for the tournament, and I think he's in the process now of gathering names for refs. But I don't. If anybody wants to ref, make sure you can get me a email or get Tom an email. Go to the state site and you can go to the referees. But I think hopefully enough referees will come, and then we'll have a couple weeks to round up stranglers if we're short referees.
Could you tell us your email address in case somebody needed to get a hold of you?
Yeah, gstone6201@gmail.com.
6201, huh? That's pretty slick looking number. Okay, in the past up in Aberdeen, I know, and several other places, they've had some extracurricular activities for the players, like pizza party, that sort of thing. Do you know if they have anything like that going on?
Right now we're working on, since we're going to be working mainly with the ISIS group as far as the motels, since they've been a big participant in our local work towards the complex, and we're going to be using ISIS. So we're working on maybe a package. She's working on a pizza, swim party or whatever out at the water park. We're looking at a couple things there. Originally we had night games. We were going to do activities out here with night games, but we'll maybe work around that.
If they get into Watiki, they're going to have a lot of fun, more fun than they'd ever had at a state tournament before.
Well, that'll probably be true.
Okay, down to now, and we were talking about this off camera about AllState. They normally get together on Friday night, the coaches, and work through that. Do you think they're going to do that again this year?
Yeah, I think the plan right now is the coaches will get together Friday night, as we've done probably for the last 15 years, all-state team. They'll get together, they'll have their pre-selection. It should be the same process we've used the last 2-3 years. So it should be a process, and we're working on the numbers to recognize. That's always the big, do we recognize 15%, 20%, 10% of the players. So we're working on those numbers. But yes, there will be an all-state team for the club teams again this year.
And do you have any idea when we could probably look for those to be posted up?
I think most of the time the voting's done that night, and I would assume within the week they should be posted on the website as they've done in the past.
Okay, well, like I told you, I sat around all afternoon writing questions down to ask you. Is there anything I missed, or is there anything you'd like to add that can give our viewers some value?
As far as the state tournament, I'm just hoping we have a good turnout. I'm hoping we have good weather. We've got a backup if it doesn't, but we're hoping that people will come out and see it, because if people in Rapid City are viewing this, or the Black Hills, it's probably going to be the best quality tournament they're going to see West River for a while, because when we bring the Sioux Falls schools and ESD schools out here, we do get some good quality soccer for the whole weekend.
Well, and speaking of good quality soccer, School of Mines opens up their very first game here in Rapid City this weekend, Saturday against Great Falls, a very, very solid team. We're really looking forward to seeing that level of soccer come back to Rapid City.
Yeah, it's been, several years since NAU was playing, and when I was around with the NAU experience, and it gave a lot of our youth something to look up to as far as going. So we're looking that this is going to be an improvement for soccer in Rapid City, having Tech here as a partner. And we've been working with Joe Berger, who is the coach, and he's a great guy, and I think he's got some good gentlemen in playing on his team this year.
Yeah, I like Joe. He's one of those guys that just doesn't talk the talk, he walks the walk too.
Yep, he walks the walk, and he's not afraid to get in there and do the dirty work either.
Well, Greg Stone, Rapid City, thanks very much for spending a little time with us tonight, and especially I'd like to thank you for all you're still doing for soccer, even though your kids are at least not youth players. They're not long gone from soccer. You see them out here all the time, but they're not in that youth mix anymore, and you continue to give, and boy, we really need that.
It's a great game for the kids, and if we can all remember it's for the kids, we all do well. So
yes, sir. Yeah.
I'd like to thank Soccer 605 for doing this and exposing what we have to say.
Thanks a lot. Well, we'll see you on down the road, and we sure look forward to being out here at state tournament.
Well, we'll look forward to maybe doing something else there.